If you try to chase a fast man, you will lose. If you try to step back and dodge a fast man, you will get picked apart. Speed is a massive advantage on the street, but it has one fatal physical flaw. Speed requires space. Today, we are looking at the absolute reality of surviving an ambush. Specifically, an attacker who is smaller, highly erratic, and significantly faster than you. We are not going to talk about trying to dodge his punches. We are going to talk about physics, geometry, and structure. I'm going to show you exactly why stepping backward is the worst mistake you can make. I will show you how to build a physical wall that uses his own speed against him. And finally, I will give you the exact empty-handed tools you need to completely destroy his mobility, shut down his movement, and make it home safe to your family. We do not rely on speed, we rely on mass and leverage. Let us begin. To defeat a fast attacker, you must understand exactly how speed works. A smaller, faster man knows he does not have heavy knockout power. He knows he cannot stand in one place and trade heavy punches with you. So he relies on a hit and run strategy. He wants to bounce on his toes. He wants to dart into your personal space, throw 3 quick strikes and escape back out before you can hit him. He's relying on the runway. Think of a fast sports car. A fast car cannot reach top speed if it's parked inside of a tiny garage. It needs a long open road to accelerate. In a street fight, the open road is the distance between you and the attacker. If you stand 4 feet away from him, you are giving him the runway. You are giving him the exact amount of space he needs to build his momentum, launch his attack, and run away safely. The fatal mistake that most men make is stepping backward. When a fast man rushes at you, your natural human reflex is to flinch and step back. But when you step backward, you're just making the runway longer. You're letting him stay in his comfort zone. He will keep chasing you. He will keep throwing fast combinations. And eventually, one of those strikes will catch your jaw and shut your brain off. You cannot outrun a fast man. You cannot outpunch a fast man. You must take away his road. You must put a heavy concrete wall directly in the middle of his runway. You have to force him to crash. To kill his speed, we change the geometry of the fight. We do this by crashing the space. We use the invisible guard. Your hands are up at eye level. Your palms are open. You look like a peaceful man trying to calm the situation down. But structurally, your forearms are building an impenetrable shield over your center line. You do not look at his hands. Fast hands will easily trick your eyes. You lock your visual radar directly on his collarbones. The center of his chest cannot fake a movement. Where the chest goes, the body must follow. Now you wait for the trigger. The second you see his collarbones move forward, you do not step back. You do not swing your fist. Drop your center of gravity and you take a fast step directly into his path. Look at the physical structure right now. I did not try to hit a moving target. I stepped directly into his center mass. I became a brick wall. Because he was moving forward incredibly fast and I stepped forward to meet him, we created a massive head-on collision. He supplied the speed, I supplied the heavy mass. Physics doesn't lie. He is light and he is moving fast. I am heavy and I'm anchored. When those two things collide, he breaks. By stepping into him, I completely destroyed his runway. His arms are now jammed against his own ribs. He cannot extend his elbows to punch me. He cannot use his speed because there is absolutely zero space between us. He wanted to stay on the outside and play a game of speed. I forced him onto the inside where speed means absolutely nothing. This is the wedge. You drive your heavy structure directly into his momentum and stop him. I want to pause the lesson right here. I have a direct question for you. Have you ever dealt with a highly erratic, aggressive person who simply could not stand still? Maybe someone bouncing around, waving their hands and acting completely unpredictable. Did you try to step away or did you hold your ground? Let's talk about it below. You have crashed the space. You have stopped his initial attack, but the fight is not over. You just bump into him and let him bounce away. He will reset his feet. He will get his distance back and he will start using his speed all over again. The second you make physical contact, you must secure the target. You must tie him up so he cannot escape. You are already on the inside. Your open palms are already on his chest. You immediately reach up and grab the back of his neck with a heavy grip. Look at what I'm doing with my body weight. I'm not just holding his neck. I'm taking all of my heavy mass and hanging it directly on his spine. A small, fast man hates carrying heavy weight. He relies on being light on his feet. When you drag his neck down and lean on him, his legs have to work twice as hard. His speed instantly drops to zero. He is physically trapped under your structure. Now we completely dismantle his mobility. You cannot be fast if you cannot walk. We attack the foundation. While you control his neck and keep his posture broken, you point your toes toward the floor and you drive the heavy artillery. You use the knee. On the concrete, the knee is the ultimate equalizer. You drive the hard bone of your kneecap directly into the meat of his thigh, or straight up into his stomach. You can also drive this exact same knee into his groin. Either target works, either one drops him fast. But the thigh does something the others do not. It does not just hurt him, it takes away his legs. And that is exactly what we are trying to do here. When that heavy bone hits his thigh muscle, the muscle completely paralyzes. His leg will buckle. A man with a dead leg cannot bounce on his toes. A man with a dead leg cannot dart in and out. You did not try to match his speed. You bypassed his quick hands, you crashed his pace, you anchored your heavy weight on his neck, and you destroyed the exact tools he uses to move. You slowed the fight down to zero. His structure is broken, he cannot walk properly, his speed is completely gone. Your physical fight ends the second he is neutralized. You never stand over a defeated man to prove a point. You never try to completely destroy someone just because you're angry. In the real world, there are witnesses, there are security cameras. If you keep hitting a man who can no longer defend himself, you instantly cross the line from self-defense into criminal assault. The moment you land the knee and his legs shuts down, you disconnect. You keep your hands up in the invisible guard. You keep your eyes locked on him. You take slow steps backward. Because you destroyed his legs, you know for a fact that he cannot run after you. His speed is gone. You now have the ultimate advantage. You locate your exit path, you get to your car, and you leave the area safely. Neutralize the threat, eliminate his ability to pursue you, navigate the exit. To survive a fast attacker, you have to completely change the way you view a physical conflict. You cannot operate on ego. Ego tells you to swing your fists and try to prove that you're faster. We use the Ronin protocol. We use strategy and guided neutralization. We operate on cold, hard physical laws. When a fast man tries to use his momentum against you, do not run away. Stand your ground, drop your center of gravity, build a wall, and let him break himself against your heavy structure. Speed is an illusion if there is no space to use it. If you want to learn how to master the invisible guard so you can build that impenetrable wall before a fight even starts, you need to click the video on your screen right now. I will break down how to control the distance and dominate the space against any attacker. Subscribe to Flavius Tactics. We do not teach Hollywood magic. We teach the reality of a street fight. Train hard, stay sharp. I will see you in the next masterclass.